So I just finished about 67 minutes of easy riding. I did a couple of 30-second high cadence intervals up the first section of the finishing climb. So the finishing climb is right over here. It starts. It's about 3 miles up, and then you have 1 mile down, and then you have there we go, 3 miles to the finishing climb. You'll see that I rode with somebody on the video, and on the first 3 miles, and then I turned around and came back down. I didn't want to overcook it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drive up to the gates, which starts the second 3 mile finishing climb. We can't drive past that, so rather than me ride all the way up, I'm going to drive there. The reason I'm not riding all the way up is that after the first 3 mile climb, there's a 1 mile descent, and it seems pretty hefty, so I just don't want to spend the extra energy. Okay, let's go take a look at it. Okay, trying something a little different here. Got the mirror effect. So it turns out that I went up to the halfway point, which was, well, the first gate, and then I started riding, went up a ways, and then I saw there was another descent, which followed the profile. I wasn't quite sure based on what the other person I was riding with, what he was telling me. So I didn't want to use the extra energy to come up that climb, so I just went on back. So I am relying on his word and someone else's word that I met, somebody who's training, who's getting ready for next week's Xterra National Championships, or championships, I suppose, telling me that the last 3 miles, 3 miles, is not as steep as what I first experienced. Now that was pretty steep in certain sections. Um, I should be fine, but it's all relative to how strong my competition is. And I know some of the competition is very strong, stronger than the Goon Squad. At least one of these guys I know is. So I also was feeling the altitude. When I was just at normal, easy pace, everything was fine. I did a couple of 30-second high cadence intervals, and uh, boy, I didn't hyperventilate, but I could feel the red line come real quickly up, and so I had to dial back a bit. Um, so that's what we'll have to work with. The first part of the race is going to be neutralized, so that first 1 kilometer, 1 mile climb is at the start of the race is going to be eliminated. So we're going to ride around the lake, I guess, pretty easy unless somebody decides to try and take off. Um, and when we get to the start of the climb, which is 6, 7 mile climb, at the bottom there, that's when everything will take off. And the lower slopes, those that have, you don't know what's going to happen in the 60, 64 category, but I would imagine those that are more acclimated to this altitude, what they may want to do is just go hard from the beginning, and those that force others to redline, and when they redline, because of the altitude, it'll be a lot harder to recover quickly from that. I mean, you still can, depending on your training and so forth, but to recover quickly from high altitude is harder than it is at sea level. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm feeling good, and I'm going to work on my bike a little bit, switch out brakes, and just take it easy. And I think that's it. More tomorrow.